on any Apple Watch. Yes, even the Ultra. It's also thinner and lighter. There's new finishes and materials, and it also comes with a new depth gauge, which allows the Series 10 to track snorkeling. So for the aluminum models, we have a jet black, a rose gold, as well as a silver color, and they kind of have this interesting shine to them where they're almost matte at some angles. So these new colors are definitely not super shiny or anything like that, but they're a lot more subtle. And they say they use something like a 30-step anodization process to achieve this look. Now, they've had their stainless steel Apple Watch option for quite a few years, but they're actually transitioning this year to a grade 5 titanium option for their more premium offering, which isn't just about a different look, but it also allows them to achieve a lot lighter watch than they can do with stainless steel. So with this new polished titanium case, it's going to be 20% lighter, and it comes in a natural color, a gold color, as well as a dark slate color, all with a PVD coating. So it's kind of cool to see them offer more than just a natural titanium color with these new titanium case options. Now, when it comes to size and weight, they actually increased the case size on both the large as well as the small Series 10, where the large version is now 46 millimeters versus 45 millimeters from before, and then the small version is 42 millimeters versus 41 millimeters. And what's interesting is that they actually increased the case size by width, not necessarily by height, so it's actually a slightly more square watch now. But they were able to actually reduce the thickness of the Series 10 by over 10% of the Series 9, where it's just 9.7 millimeters thin. And that's pretty darn thin, by the way, for a watch, and you can really notice that when you're wearing it. And to achieve this, they basically had to shrink everything inside, from the processor all the way to the speaker, but they did say that the speaker should be on par with previous generations. Now, one huge change with the speaker on the Series 10, though, is that you can actually now listen to music and media on the speaker itself, where previously you'd have to have a pair of Bluetooth headphones. So that's kind of big. And by the way, with the new music and playback capabilities on the speaker, that's going to be available on the Series 10 as well as the Apple Watch Ultra 2. Now, along with that slightly bigger but thinner case, they were actually able to cram in a bigger display with the biggest display yet. Yes, even bigger than the Ultra. And bigger is definitely better, at least when it comes to the display, where it's not only going to be easier to see text, where you can actually increase the font size, but you can see more text, and using the keyboard will actually be a lot easier as well. And then another improvement they brought with the display on the Series 10 is what they're calling a new wide-angle display, where you're able to see the display at off angles a lot easier than before. And then one more improvement with the display is that when the display dims to its always-on display mode, the display actually stays active. So this will be noticeable with stuff like second hands or watch face animations, where they'll actually stay active and move even while you're not interacting with the watch. And they say they've also improved the transition to the always-on display mode, where it's supposed to be a smoother transition to when it dims. And then the sides of the Series 10 case also have slightly more rounded corners than before, so it is a little bit different shape, but it's still totally familiar, but the glass does kind of go further down on the sides. Another upgrade on the hardware end of things is a new depth gauge, and this allows the Series 10 to track snorkeling with the Oceanic app, where you'll be able to track snorkeling down to 6 meters or 20 feet, and it'll also track water temperature. The Series 10 still has a 50-meter water resistance rating, but it's just that the snorkeling and depth gauge go down to 6 meters or 20 feet, so it isn't quite to the dive capabilities of the Ultra, where that can actually do full-on recreational scuba diving, but it is interesting to see them add this feature for the Series 10. And then on the battery life end of things, the Series 10 still has the same all-day 18-hour battery life as previous Apple Watches, and while we definitely all want longer battery life out of an Apple Watch, there certainly must be some efficiency improvements inside, considering it not only has a thinner case, but also has a larger display. However, they do have faster charging with the Series 10, where you can place it on a charger for like 30 minutes when it's empty, where you can get something like an 80% charge, which is kind of impressive. And then on the sports and fitness software side of things, so the Series 10 will come with everything new that was announced at this year's WWDC, like the new training load feature, the new Vitals app, true offline topo maps, as well as custom swim workouts. Basically everything that's going to be coming out with watchOS 11. And I've got a video about all those features that I'll have a link down in the description below. But in addition to all that, there's also a new Tides app to show rising and falling tides, high and low tides, as well as sunrise and sunset times. And there's also going to be new route maps for more water sports like stand-up paddleboarding as well as canoeing, where it'll actually show the location of where you actually paddled. So on the Apple Watch Ultra side of things, so they're finally giving us another color option with this new satin black finish in addition to the natural titanium. So this is a new matte PVD black finish with a diamond-like coating for increased scratch resistance. They are still using grade 5 titanium for the case, but they've actually also updated the back with this new dark zirconia back crystal, so everything kind of matches. And along with that, they also have matching black hardware with a new dark titanium Milanese loop, where they're using a corrosion-resistant titanium that's kind of flattened and then crafted into this quite interesting and unique band. The buckle is supposed to take inspiration from parachutes, where it kind of has this nice satisfying click to it when you snap it in place, and then there's these kind of two little buckles on the side that release it. And it was pretty comfortable, at least for my short time with it, and it is also surprisingly light for being metal. Now, even though they are rolling out this new black Milanese titanium loop to match the new Ultra 2 in the satin black color, they also do have a natural titanium color as well. It was actually a little bit finicky the first time that I tried it, but after a couple times I totally got used to it. And then on the health side of things, a big new feature to come out this year is sleep apnea tracking and detection, where it'll now track breathing disturbances throughout the night. You have to wear the watch to sleep for 10 nights to calibrate this new sleep apnea tracking, and then after 30 days, it'll actually give you alerts of any events that are tracked. And the sleep apnea tracking feature isn't just for the Series 10, so that's going to be for the Series 9, the Series 10, as well as the Ultra 2. And regulatory clearance isn't quite available right at the time of this event at least, but they say that it should be rolling out with select countries soon. So that's everything new with the new Series 10 as well as the Apple Watch Ultra 2, and we finally do have that new dark satin finish. Now, the hardware on the Ultra 2 does remain the same as last year, but I think the big story this year is really about the Series 10, where we have that larger display, we have the thinner case, as well as the depth gauge, which allows for snorkeling. And I think that's what's kind of interesting, is that they're actually increasing the capabilities of this Series 10 to bring it closer to the Ultra, where it does have that snorkeling capability, and it has an even larger display than the Ultra 2. Anyhow, be on the lookout for my full in-depth reviews of the new Series 10, as well as the Apple Watch Ultra 2 and that new finish, to see if it actually holds up. But if you found the information in this video to be useful, do me a favor, just quickly hit that like button, and also subscribe to the channel for plenty more sports tech videos that are right around the corner. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.